to have pragmatic, smart, younger politics. I mean, the fact that we have two old white men, I mean, neither of these folks is on top of their game. I mean, neither of these, I mean, like this is, I mean, you compare Biden to Pete Buttigieg. I mean, Buttigieg walks into the lion's den of Fox TV and tames the lion every night, right? Let's get Pete Buttigieg solving some of these problems. Let's get some younger ideas on the Republican side solving these problems. But we're going to have to architect that social contract, no doubt about it. You know, and I think the second thing is that, you know, to me, this is going to be a wake-up call to the nominating processes in both parties. But let's be clear. Mike Pence, right, has his roadmap, you know, for, you know, how to win the election. Indiana governor, right, who's going to tap into the same fears that Trump tapped into. I mean, these fears aren't going away, right? The exacerbation of the wealth disparity is going to increase, not decrease. We see it every day out here. And so I think you're going to have, you know, the Democratic Party who nominates people and puts people, you know, forward who can tap into this.
Brad, who do you like? If it wasn't Biden, who would you like?
Buttigieg. He's this was an openly gay mayor of my hometown in Indiana.
Do you think he can sell?
Right. Who fought in Afghanistan and who goes on Fox News every damn night. Right. And has a conversation that leaves Republicans saying, oh, that guy's pretty smart. Right.
Yeah. I agree that he's a tremendous political talent.
Do you think that he's pragmatic enough, Brad, or he would end up veering more towards sort of like politically correct leftist socialist agenda and then have the same result?
I think that there's been a doctrine in the Democratic Party that to win the primary, you got to veer to the left, right? You got to contend with Bernie, you got to contend with Elizabeth Warren. But ultimately, that's a losing strategy in the election. And so I think you're going to have the emergence of a middle of the country governor, middle of the country mayor, somebody like Pete, who's going to run, you know, on a smart, younger, pragmatic, Democratic ticket. I think that's a winning formula. I mean, I think that's the Clinton formula. You know, Obama was a bit of an anomaly, but the Clinton formula was a conservative, pragmatic form of Democratic Party leadership.
I mean, I suspect that in the next 3 or 4 days, I'm going to get a call from the Democratic leadership figuring out how much they can count on me. And my message to them is, you guys can go fuck yourselves until you figure this out. Because to your point, Brad, it is absolutely shameful that we're in. No, I'm serious. That we are in.
I know position. You are. That's what I love.
But Chamath, I mean, what you should tell them to do is go form a DLC. Remember the Democrat Leadership Committee that Bill Clinton formed? So remember what Bill Clinton did, you know, when he won in 92, we had 3 straight Republican presidential terms, Ronald Reagan, incredibly successful president, then his successor, basically Bush won a 3rd term for Reagan, but he was a weak candidate. And Clinton came in there, and what did he do? He triangulated. He tacked toward the center. And, you know, he actually passed a lot of bipartisan legislation.
David, let me make this even more blunt. Okay. My $1 million will grow to $10 million per election to $50 million per election as I get older. Okay. So if these motherfuckers want a single goddamn dollar from me, what I want first is a root cause analysis to understand what is actually going on. So to your point, before you fix it, you need to be honest and identify the problem.
Well, I mean, I think it's because the issue that Trump ran against was that Joe Biden was a Trojan horse for a radical left that really owns the Democratic Party right now. That's what he ran against.
Bill Gurley, what do you think the issues are that if we were going to try to have a great reconciliation between these two parties, between middle America and the coastal elites, where you have spent